Hi there, and welcome to the webinar for the Sustainable Cities Challenge by the Toyota Mobility Foundation. Today, we're going to talk you through some information about the Sustainable Cities Challenge, and you have three of us with you today. So firstly, Trey, who's from the Toyota Mobility Foundation, and then myself, Catherine, and my colleague, Kathy, from ChallengeWorks. Today, we're going to talk through two main things. Firstly, what is the Sustainable Cities Challenge? And then secondly, going into a bit more detail on what we're looking for with the open call to cities at this stage. I'm now going to hand over to Trey, who's going to talk us through what is the Sustainable Cities Challenge. Take it away, Trey. Thank you.
Hey, good morning, everyone. My name is Trey Ingram. I'm with the Toyota Mobility Foundation. And first, we'll start off with a quick 2-minute video introducing us to the challenge.
Cities of all sizes are constantly evolving. As cities grow and adapt to a changing world, the need for innovative mobility solutions has never been more important. That is why the Toyota Mobility Foundation has launched the Sustainable Cities Challenge. This $9 million global challenge will see cities and innovators from around the world work together to enable safe, inclusive, sustainable mobility solutions that could transform the lives of millions of people. The Sustainable Cities Challenge is open to cities all over the world. By entering the challenge, cities have the opportunity to have innovators from around the world tailor solutions to address their local mobility barriers. The challenge offers the opportunity to unlock up to $3 million in innovation funding per city. The deadline for entries is 18 September. Visit sustainablecitieschallenge.org to find out more.
Great. Before we get into the details of the challenge itself, we're going to take a quick look at the organizations and partners behind the challenge. The lead delivery partner on this challenge is the Toyota Mobility Foundation. The foundation has been working to create better and more mobile societies for almost 10 years now, since August 2014. TMF works to apply Toyota's expertise in technology, safety, and the environment to help address and resolve urban transportation challenges, expand options and access for personal mobility, and really work on designing human-centered mobility solutions for the future. And of course, supporting in the delivery of the challenge, we have Kathy from ChallengeWorks.
Hi, I'm Kathy. I'm head of Future Cities at ChallengeWorks. We are a social enterprise and a unit of Nesta, the UK's innovation foundation. We are based in London, but we work globally, and we run open innovation competitions as challenge prizes or challenge funds. These are outcome-based funding opportunities to support innovators to solve some of the world's most pressing problems.
And rounding out the partnership team, we also have World Resources Institute. WRI is a global organization that works with governments, businesses, multilateral institutions, and various civil society groups to develop practical solutions that improve people's lives and ensure that nature can thrive. And so, what is the Sustainable Cities Challenge? The Sustainable Cities Challenge is a $9 million global challenge that will bring cities and innovators together to enable safe, inclusive, and sustainable mobility solutions that are fit for the future. So the two goals of the challenge are that we'll be aiming to run a series of open innovation challenges in partnership with the final selected cities. And so we're going to be looking for cities to partner with us to host those challenges to help find solutions to their most pressing mobility barriers. And we'll take a look at how we plan to do that in a bit more detail later on. But we would also like to help cities gain capacity in tackling local challenges through this type of process. We will be working with those final selected cities to design the most effective open innovation challenge for their specific problem that they're entering the challenge to try to address. We plan to do this through training, one-on-one support, and of course, co-designing processes together. And so during this challenge process, we are looking for three there are 3 thematic areas that we're looking for cities to identify mobility problems within. The overall theme of the challenge, as I've stated previously, is to provide safe and sustainable mobility for all. And any city challenge that ends up being developed needs to ensure that the public safety of residents, the level of inclusive access to mobility, and the environmental sustainability of mobility solutions are all simultaneously strengthened during that challenge process. And your city really needs to align to one of these thematic areas, and you'll see that during the application process. So the first thematic area is overcoming mobility barriers. As you all know, many city residents face barriers in accessing transport, public services, and just general amenities in their everyday lives. This may prevent them from accessing many different opportunities that are offered in your city, from jobs, education, connecting with their neighbors and others within their community. And so we want to hear from cities who recognize how opening up mobility systems to everyone is key and important to creating a more inclusive society. So potential examples could include making transportation more accessible for people with disabilities, exploring the use of technology to increase the safety of women and children in public transport, potentially even developing innovative payment approaches to improve affordability of transport as well, among many other examples. The second thematic area is what we're calling strengthening mobility systems. So all cities need reliable and well-maintained mobility systems, especially during times of interruption and crisis. We want to hear from cities that are interested in this category in exploring data-driven ways to improve the resiliency of local mobility systems and increase the availability of real-time travel information. So potential examples could include data-driven approaches to managing public transport schedules and traffic management systems that are dynamic at peak travel times during the day, potentially finding new ways to provide transport information to residents without access to digital services. And then even something like developing emergency ride-sharing services to make, evacuations and transport safer and more effective during times of interruption and crisis. And rounding out our challenge themes, we have what we're calling mobilizing low carbon communities or advancing low carbon communities. And this is where we're really thinking about sustainable mobility systems that offer benefits to current and future generations of residents within your city, where we're improving air quality and supporting cities' goals of reducing carbon emissions. And so we want to hear from cities who want to explore ways to boost low carbon and environmentally sustainable mobility, while also thinking about how we can improve access to goods and services as well, in an environmentally sustainable way. And so some potential examples here might include exploring last mile low carbon transport for goods and services that are aiming to reduce emissions in city centers, finding those technological innovations to power low carbon public transport or services within your city. And so as we've talked about these thematic areas within the challenge, you might be thinking, why else should a city enter the challenge itself, and what benefit could it hold for your city? Well, we know that the needs of cities and those who live in them are constantly changing, and we believe cities can gain a great deal by applying different approaches, such as this city challenge approach, to finding solutions to problems in the mobility space that cities are experiencing. So we believe this challenge offers an opportunity to your city to identify and find those innovative solutions that can address your most pressing mobility problems. So if you are able to participate in this challenge and are selected to move through the process, cities will be able to convene internationally to learn from various experts. And then the 10 shortlisted cities that are moving on to the next process will be able to join and participate in what we're calling a capacity building workshop or a city academy in Dallas, Texas. You have an opportunity to bring innovators to your city. So, the 3 final selected cities will be able to connect with innovators to tailor mobility solutions that fit, that are fit for the future in their city. And then, of course, selected cities, those final cities, will have access of up to $3 million of funding to address those mobility barriers within their city. And so we're structuring this Sustainable Cities Challenge over 2 primary stages. The first stage is what we're in right now, which is the call to cities. Currently, the call is open until September 18th at 1600 UTC for cities who wish to address local mobility issues. And so we're inviting cities right now to complete that short online entry form on the Sustainable Cities Challenge website by that date, which again is September 18th, 2023 at 1600 UTC. After that entry period closes, we'll go through the challenge development period from October to December 2023. And so during this period, and based on the eligibility and selection criteria, we will shortlist 10 cities in October. They will then have an opportunity to receive a range of support in developing out their problem set within their city challenge, which will culminate in participation in a city academy, or which is that city capacity building workshop on November 13th through 15th in Dallas, Texas. And of course, travel and accommodation costs will be covered by the challenge for those 10 shortlisted cities to participate in person in the City Academy. And finally, after that stage, a selection period will take place from December 2023 to February 2023, where, again, using that selection criteria, 3 winning cities will be selected as the final host cities out of those 10 shortlisted cities to develop their call to innovators in the form of city-based challenges. And our second stage is called our Call to Innovators stage. This will take place from mid-2024 to late 2025. So after a period of about those initial 3 months in collaboration with the Sustainable Cities team, the host cities will finalize their design of their city challenges. And so by mid-2024, the city challenges will then be launched with a public call to mobility innovators around the world, inviting them to put forward their solutions, ideas, products to tackle those local mobility challenges within those 3 cities. And we're hoping, where possible, deployments and pilots on the ground will launch by the end of 2024. Mid-2024. And so from mid-2024 till mid-2025, these city challenges will identify and support innovators to tailor their solutions in their cities. So during this time, innovators will receive a range of support and of course funding to accelerate their solution development. This will ultimately culminate in the challenge announcing winners by late 2025 of each of the 3 city challenges, with each of the innovators receiving further support to for the growth and scaling of their mobility solutions. And so now Kathy will take you through what we're looking for from cities during this open call stage.
Great, thank you, Trey. Before we get into more details about the Sustainable Cities Challenge, we thought we'd take a step back and talk a little bit about what we mean by an Open Innovation Challenge. Open Innovation Challenges, as we run them, are a method for supporting innovation. They use outcome-based funding model by taking a specific problem and then supporting people and businesses to solve it. So in this stage, the first stage of the challenge, as Trey just described, we are looking for cities with problems. And then we will work with you to define those problems and shape them into an open innovation challenge that then in the second stage, we'll be looking for solutions from innovators to come into. What we have found is that city-based open innovation challenges have become an increasingly popular way to help local communities solve problems. They open up avenues of collaboration that aren't typically found in local government procurement processes. They're a great way to engage a huge spectrum of actors. So of course, the city, local officials, civil servants working within city departments and city bodies to collaborate with entrepreneurs, with startups, with SMEs, and more established industry representatives as well. Incorporating a third sector, incorporating government, incorporating regulators, but most importantly, residents of a city, stakeholders in a city. So often, tech solutions come into a city and kind of parachute in and maybe sort of tell a city or tell the residents what they want. And this helps to turn that paradigm on its head by inviting in innovators to collaborate and co-create with city agencies and with residents and people who live in cities who are most affected by the problems and can provide the best insights in how overcoming those barriers could help to create the desired sort of impacts. In city-based challenges, of course, there's funding available, and as Trey has mentioned, there's funding available to support both the cities and to support the innovators. But we've also found that innovators find it really compelling to not only have funding, but to have other types of support through collaborating with city decision makers, by working with stakeholders, by working with end users, getting access to things like data, access to local stakeholders, access to decision makers, the chance, if it's relevant for the problem or the challenge at hand, the chance to demonstrate or test a solution or a product in the real world, in the public realm. All of those things can be really compelling for innovators to participate in a challenge, in addition to funding and other types of support that are available. Challenges can also be quite high profile. It's a really good way to shine a spotlight on a problem that a city is trying to tackle, requiring breaking down silos, bringing together multiple actors from different sectors or different industries. That can be a great way to shape emerging technology or help to inform future policy and future regulations in the city. If you'd like to find out a little bit more about the background on this process and the method and how we've used it in lots of different types of scenarios and lots of different sectors, including with cities, but otherwise as well, you can go to challengeworks.org to get a little bit more information and to review a practice guide. What I'd like to talk about a little bit more right now, though, is bringing it back to the Sustainable Cities Challenge and what we're looking for cities. So as I said, this is a call for cities to put forth their problems and tell us what problems you have that you're not able to solve through kind of traditional routes or traditional methods, and why your problem would be suitable to solving through an open innovation challenge centered around these themes that Trey described: access to safe, inclusive, and sustainable mobility solutions for all. And so we'll be choosing 3 cities to work with us as partners to run a challenge in your city. The process is quite straightforward. It's not nearly as complex as applying for, say, a government grant application or anything like that. It's an online entry form. It's 10 questions. Complete it by September the 18th and tell us about the problem in your city and how it would be suitable to solving through an open innovation challenge, and how it's relevant to our ambitions with this challenge around safe, sustainable, and inclusive mobility. As far as who is eligible to enter, there is much more detail on our website. So I'd encourage you to have a look at that. But the key points to be aware of is that, first of all, entries must focus on solving a particular problem in a particular city. So this is a place-based challenge. It's a call to action to focus on a single city. It could be an adjacent group of cities. It could be if you've got several different cities or towns that are geographically adjacent to one another and want to partner up as a region. Conversely, if you are from a really large metro area and you want to focus on a particular neighborhood or district or area within your city would welcome that too. But the key point is that this is a place-based issue, and we want to hear about the particular context of your community and how that relates to the problem that you're trying to solve. Eligibility, cities can enter from anywhere in the world, so we're open to that. We do look for places that have a minimum population of 100,000. So that could be your city could fit into that. Or like I said, if you've got a smaller community and you've got several different cities that want to partner up as a region, if you meet that 100,000 person threshold, then that works fine. Equally, we don't have an upper level maximum population, but we will say the challenge has best been designed for more like small to mid-sized cities, which I know looks different in different parts of the world, but generally up to about 2 to 3 million in population. If you're coming from a much larger metro city than that, you might want to choose a particular area or district of your city to focus on to try to hit that sweet spot between 100,000 and 3 million in population. Do have a look at the details on our website. And then finally, the fourth thing that we're looking for is that the lead entrant does have to be a local authority, a local public sector agency. So that could be the city government, that could be city council, that could be a county government, it could be a city level transportation authority. It could be, if you're in the US, it could be a metropolitan planning organization. It could be a regional council of governments. Have a look at our website on the way these things are defined in different ways in different countries. But the important point is that it's a subnational public entity as the lead applicant, but you can have partners as well as part of your proposal. Like I said, it could be a partnership between local government and other local or regional entities that are relevant to solving your problem. And then I want to talk a little bit about the selection criteria, what we'll be looking for in the entries that come in. So we'll be selecting first 10 shortlisted cities to go through that capacity building phase in the autumn. And then we'll be selecting 3 cities that go on as partners to host the city challenges. There are 4 criteria, and entries will be assessed against these 4 criteria. So the first one is around the challenge focus. What is the problem that you're trying to solve? How does that connect to the theme and the purpose of the Sustainable Cities Challenge? How does it connect to safe, inclusive, sustainable mobility solutions for all? Do you align to one of those 3 themes that we mentioned earlier, overcoming mobility barriers, strengthening mobility systems, or advancing low carbon mobility? The second criteria that we're looking at is innovation. So is this problem suitable for solving through an open innovation challenge? If it's not, then there's other ways to go about and just procure solutions and get on with it. So what we're looking for are problems that are not being solved through current pathways or current processes. This isn't really suitable for a project that you already have ongoing, but more if you've got this complex issue that you want to solve, particularly by inviting in new solution providers, engaging other sectors, engaging expertise from other fields that you haven't engaged with. If it's a problem that's best solved through kind of a multidisciplinary approach, then that's a good indication to be suitable for an open innovation challenge. Have a look at our website. We'll be hosting some challenge labs coming up and doing some specialized training on what we mean by open innovation challenge and how to start thinking about framing your problem in this way. The third criterion that we're looking at is impact. So we want to know about how solving your problem would create impact on improving safe, sustainable, and inclusive mobility within your particular community. So we'd like to have a sense of the types of target users, the groups, the residents in your city, the businesses in your city that are currently being affected by this problem, and how solving this problem could help to improve their outlook, improve their opportunities for mobility, improve safety, include the environmental sustainability in your community. We also are interested in knowing about problems that are probably relevant in other places as well. So how would solving the problem in your city lead to solutions that then could be scaled up, could be transferred or replicated in other contexts? We want to hear about some of these incisive problems that probably lots of cities have, and if solving it could have exponential results. And then finally, looking at challenge partner capacity. So we do want to see some commitment from the local government in engaging in this. You'll see there's a place in the entry form to indicate that you've got the support of, say, it's your mayor, your city council members, lead decision makers. We want to get a sense that there's some buy-in from your city in supporting your participation in this. We also want to know about what kind of resources you've got on your side to participate. There's no match funding requirement. But we want to have a sense of what department or agency within your city would be taking the lead on this, and have you thought through kind of operationally how it would work. We also want to know about whether this aligns to some of your broader city strategies. So if you got a net zero targets or things like that, would like to see some alignment. And finally, looking for things that are feasible to be solved within the timeframes of the challenge within the next couple of years. So looking for those really complex problems and being really ambitious about it, but then also being realistic about what's achievable. I'll hand it over to my colleague, Catherine, who will take us through some of the more specifics.
Thank you very much, Kathy. So hopefully by this point, you're thinking, this sounds really exciting and I'm ready to kind of get involved. So the main thing you now need to do during the call to cities is to go and fill out a short initial entry form. So I'm just going to talk you a little bit through what's in that entry form and hopefully to help you prepare to fill out that entry form. So you can access the online entry form available at this link, as well as being on our website. So please do go and check it out on the website. You must submit, as Trey very kindly reiterated earlier, by 4 p.m. Universal Coordinated Time on the Monday, the 18th of September. And there are 4 parts of the entry form. And you'll see here that there's kind of these four parts. The main part, and the part that will be reviewing against that selection criteria that Kathy just spoke us through, is that part in yellow, so your city challenge proposal. So there are 4 parts. So firstly, we'll check in your details. This will allow us to carry out the challenge, contact you if you're successful and similar. So it will not be assessed against the selection criteria, but we do need all of that information from you. Then secondly, and by far most importantly, your proposal, which will be assessed against those 4 selection criteria that Kathy just spoke about. Then thirdly, we're going to have some additional information. This is to help us with running the challenge, collecting some impact information, but most importantly, doing due diligence on cities, which allows us to kind of move forward later on. So again, important information there, but hopefully not too complex for you to fill out. And finally, we just need you to make a declaration that everything you have submitted is true and that you agree to the terms and conditions as well. So nice and simple. And just to kind of reiterate that kind of key part, if we focus in on that part 2 of the entry form, there are just 10 questions in that section. Ideally, we hope kind of really easy to fill out. And our aim is that kind of it's very much intended not to take you more than kind of half a day time to kind of pull together all the information you need and fill out your entry form. So we hope that is the case, but some very, very simple questions for you to fill out, choosing one of those themes that you've heard from us today, and then going in a little bit more about kind of why you feel that running an open innovation challenge in your city could have really good benefits, focusing on mobility. So please do go and have a look at the entry form and take the time to fill that out. Once you've submitted your entry form, there are a few steps of the selection process. I'm just going to very briefly walk you through. So you're going to submit your entry, then we will carry out some eligibility and due diligence checks. You may hear from the team during this period, but it's most likely that you wouldn't while we were doing those checks, making sure that kind of you're eligible in line with that eligibility criteria you had from before. It will then be scored and reviewed by a selection panel to choose the top 10 shortlisted cities that are then invited to be part of the next stage. If you are selected as one of those 10 shortlisted cities, you should expect to hear in early October, and then we will kind of move into that next stage. Further details about the selection process at the next stage, when we move from the 10 shortlisted cities to the 3 selected host cities at the next stage, will be shared with the 10 shortlisted, but it's very, very similar in that you submit a final challenge proposal on the 11th of December, and then that will be reviewed by the selection panel and selection committee. You'll have a brief interview with that selection committee, and the final 3 host cities that will be chosen will be informed, and we should find out by February next year, so February 2024, to kind of get moving on designing and activating those final city challenges. The selection panel, both stages will be made up of senior leadership of Toyota Mobility Foundation, ChallengeWorks and the World Resources Institute. So some key dates for your diaries. We've spoken a lot about that Monday, the 18th September. So hopefully that's well and truly in your head and hopefully in your calendar. But before that, we've also got some challenge labs, which are a really great opportunity to learn a bit more about open innovation challenges and how they could be used within cities to support bringing innovators in to solve kind of key problems. So if you are a city representative and that kind of anyone that's kind of eligible as a lead entrant, please do sign up for one of those challenge labs, and we're running that in 2 different time slots, so let us know which one you prefer to attend. And then finally, if you are successful and are invited to be a shortlisted city, we'll be asking you to convene in Dallas, Texas on the 13th to 15th of November. So again, please pop that in your diary just now, and there will be support, both kind of TMF paying and the challenge paying for accommodation and travel, but as well as support to do kind of visa paperwork if required, for example. And the kind of key dates, so you should find out if you've been shortlisted in October 2023 and if you've been selected as the host city by February 2024. Finally, just kind of register today for those challenge labs. It'd be a really fantastic opportunity, hour-and-a-half workshop, mostly with the team from WRI, ChallengeWorks and TMF. So please do sign up. And if you've got any further questions that you would like to understand and answer about the process of the challenge, please do also sign up for a one-to-one session, just a 15-minute chat with one of the kind of core challenge team to understand about your specific questions you may have. So book a session today so that we can kind of have a quick chat. There's loads more information available on the website, including some frequently asked questions. So do check that out. And also, you're also very welcome to email us at info@sustainablecitieschallenge.org with any further questions. Thank you very much for your time today. And we hope to receive an entry from you soon. Thanks very much.